Hi everyone, my name is Courtney. I'm Fiber Fox Studios. Welcome to Mosaic Monday. Today for our tutorial, we're actually doing a blast from the past, and I am redoing the tutorial for pattern number 9. Pattern 9 was obviously the 9th video for Mosaic that I had taught, and I could have done better. And so today I am doing a tutorial for that pattern. There's no change to the pattern, no change to the chart set. It's just a new tutorial because I think it will be a lot more clear and it'll kind of put it in line with how my other tutorials are done now. So today we're going to work on this. We are still working just as it originally was designed in a multiple of 12 plus 4 if you're going to work flat, or of course you can work in the round with this video. Instructions for both is provided. Down in the description, you will find a link to the crochet hook along with things like yarn sizes and crochet hooks I recommend size-wise to use, and project ideas, timestamps, link to the how-to series. There's playlists for all different kinds of how do you handle these ends, how to do a border, that sort of thing. All of that is in links down below in the description. So if you're new here and you need help finding different videos on my channel, or you have questions and need extra information, check out the description on this video and you will most likely find the answer right there. And to go over the sample that you are seeing, just real quick, this sample represents 3 repeats wide and 2 repeats tall of the design. We're working a total of 22 rows for the actual design. So you are going to need at least 2 colors of yarn, your favorite crochet hook, and we are going to jump into the tutorial now. And of course, as always, the chart set for this design is linked below, but you do not need to buy it because I take you through the complete design, every stitch, every row in the tutorial. So let's get started. We begin by chaining in color A in our multiple of 12 over and over. And then once we are done chaining out for our project, if we're working flat, we are going to add 4 more chains to our chain count. If you are working in the round, you are just simply going to chain in the multiple of 12 over and over. And then you will be slip stitching to the first chain that you made to form a ring. And you will begin working the repeats given in this video in that ring, and you'll be forming a tube for your project. So for me, I'm going to be working flat. So I've chained out the multiple 3 times for 36 chains. I have added 4 more chains onto my end. So I have a total of 40 chains for my swatch. You, of course, it's going to be whatever project you're making. So now we are going to begin row 1 now. And we begin by skipping the first chain from our hook, and we move into the second chain. So we want to skip 1, move down here to that second chain, and that's where we're going to go into that complete stitch under the V and do a traditional single crochet. So we just pull up our loop, grab and pull through both of those loops. So we begin our repeat now, and our repeat for row 1 is very simple. We are going to be working a back loop only single crochet into each of our stitches. So we do that by picking up only the back side of the stitch. So you go right here to the back side, picking up just that one side, and we finish our single crochet just like normal from there. So it's our placement of our stitch that makes it mosaic. Otherwise, it's exactly the same as what you're used to doing. So you continue to work down your row, back loop only, placing 1 single crochet in each stitch. We'll meet up at the end of the row to work the final stitch of the row together. We'll be doing our traditional single crochet there. But you can pause this video and meet up with me when you are ready and at the end of your row. We're now here at the end of row 1 and we have one final stitch left. So in the last stitch of every row, we're going to be working a traditional single crochet. So that just means we're going into the complete stitch. So completely into that V, and then we single crochet just like normal from there. Now we're going to bind off at the end of the row because we'll be switching to color B next for row 2. So I like to chain up and just clip my yarn. And then I'm going to cinch down those 2 chains to form a knot. So thumb and index right above the 2 chains. And then I'm going to grab the tail and pull up as I push down with my fingers. And that forms that little tiny knot. Of course, my camera's not focusing, but you get the idea. There's a knot there. So now we're going to begin row number 2. So we return back to the start of our row. We do not turn our work. Now we're going to grab color B to work row 2 in. So I'm grabbing color B now, and I'm going to identify the very first stitch on my row. So I'm looking for that V. Right here on the side is a turning chain. That's the one turning chain that we had when we started our row. So we can scoot that down out of the way. We want to make sure we never grab and pick that up and work into it. So we want to scoot it out of the way and go directly in or completely into that first stitch of the row. Now we're going to add color B to our hook. And we'll pull up that loop. Now we grab tail and working yarn and chain 1. And this is how you'll be joining on at the start of each row. Now we can allow the tail to fall, and we're going to go back into that same first stitch and complete our traditional single crochet that begins every row. So we're back in to that same stitch, pulling up our loop. Now we grab and pull through all of that to join on. So you will do that every row at the start to get your new color on it. So I won't be showing that again. Now we're going to work our repeat for row number 2, which is exactly the same as row 1. We're going to be working our back loop only single crochet into each stitch. From this point forward in the tutorial, I will be calling these single crochets, and you will just know that when we are working our repeat stitches and it's a single crochet, you always work those in the back loop only. So now we're going to work on down our row. And of course, we'll end the row by working a traditional single crochet in that final stitch. So you can continue on and meet up with me when you are ready for row number 3. Row 3 begins now, and we are working in color A. Row 3's repeat begins by working 2 single crochets. One, 2, 9 double crochets. So all of our double crochets are going to be worked exactly like I'm about to show you throughout your project. You're going to wrap your yarn just like normal, and then you're going to identify your very next stitch. And we are going to slide down 2 rows below and pick up our front loop. Now we're going to grab and pull up our yarn. Grab and pull through 2, grab and pull through 2. So you finish out a double crochet just like normal, and it's our placement that makes it mosaic. Each double crochet that we work will take up 1 stitch back here on this row. And when we fold it back, we can see where we're working. When we place it back in place, we can see this next stitch right here is our next stitch that we're going to work. So we're doing 9 double crochets, so we got 8 more to go. So here is number 2. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And we will end our repeat by working 1 single crochet here into this next stitch. So let's recap what we've done. Row number 3's repeat began with 2 single crochets, 9 double crochets, and we end the repeat with 1 single crochet. So this set of 12 stitches makes up our repeat, and you're going to continue to work this exact set over and over on down your row. And then we will meet up to work our row end. And I'm going to work the repeat with you one more time. But of course, you know, if you're not new here, hop down to the description for the timestamps and you can move on to the next row when you're ready. But we're about to work row 3's repeat one more time together. So we begin with 2 single crochets, 1, 2, 9 double crochets, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We end the repeat with 1 single crochet worked into that very next stitch. So that ends our repeat. So after we've completed 2 repeats of our design, this is what our work will look like. And on the back side, you are going to see these, some people call them pockets. They're little gaps from where we have these long series of double crochets. If you do not like that, you can do the anchored double crochet. I will link a video to another creator who designed and taught that technique. So I will show that, or I'll have that video linked down below in the description. But we're going to move on now, working off camera, repeating the exact repeat again. 2 single crochets, 9 double crochets, 1 single crochet over and over. And of course, cheater method, once you get started and set up, you're going to have these little spaces of 3 single crochets, followed by 9 double crochets. We are now here at the end of row number 3, and we're going to be working our row end together. This is how we will be working all of our row ends. So I'll just show it for this row. At the end of every row, you are going to find that you have 2 stitches left. you will restart your repeat for 1 stitch, and then of course we know we do a traditional single crochet in the very last stitch of the row. So for row 3, our repeat starts with single crochets. So we'll be working a single crochet into the second to last stitch, and then a traditional single crochet into that final stitch of the row. Doing this will have our row end matching up with our row start. Now, of course, you just bind off and we'll move on to row number 4. Row 4 begins now and we are working in color B. Row 4's repeat begins by working 1 single crochet, 1 double crochet, 9 single crochets, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and we will end the repeat by working 1 double crochet here into this next stitch. So let's recap what we have done. Number 4's repeat began with 1 single crochet, 1 double crochet, 9 single crochets, and we end with 1 double crochet. So you will continue to work that exact set of stitches on down your row, and then we will meet up for row 5 whenever you're ready. Remember, at the row end, you will have 2 stitches left. You will restart your repeat for 1 stitch, and then traditional single crochet into that last stitch of the row. Row 5 begins now, and we are working in color A. Row 5's repeat begins with 1 double crochet, 3 single crochets, 1, 2, 3, 5 double crochets, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we end the repeat by working 3 single crochets. 1, 2, 3. So that ends our repeat. So let's recap it. Row number 5's repeat began with 1 double crochet, 3 single crochets, 5 double crochets, and we end with 3 single crochets. So you are going to continue to work this exact set over and over on down your row, and then we will meet up for row 6 whenever you're ready. Row 6 begins now, and we are working in color B. Row 6 begins now, and we are working in color B. Our repeat for row number 6 begins with 3 single crochets, 1, 2, 3, 1 double crochet, 5 single crochets, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1 double crochet, and we will end our repeat by working 2 single crochets over these next 2 stitches. 1, 2. So let's recap what we've done. Row number 6 repeat begins with 3 single crochets, 1 double crochet, 5 single crochets, 1 double crochet, and we end with 2 single crochets. So you are going to continue to work this exact set of stitches on down your row, and you will notice as you are repeating this design, the cheater method for this row, really once we get set up and we're working. So I start the repeat again with the 3 single crochets. 1, 2, and 3. Your cheater method would be, if you look at what you are really doing when your design meets up as you continue, you're going to be working 5 single crochets, 1 double crochet over and over on down the row. So you can continue to work whichever way is less confusing to you. That's how you're going to work down the row. But again, the repeat for row 6, official repeat, is 3 single crochets, 1 double crochet, 5 single crochets, 1 double crochet, and we end with 2 single crochets. So we'll be back for row 7 when you're ready. Row 7 begins now, and we are working in color A. Row 7's repeat begins with 2 single crochets, 1, 2, 1 double crochet, 3 single crochets, 1, 2, 3, 1 double crochet, 3 single crochets, 1, 2, 3, 1 double crochet, 1 single crochet worked into this next stitch to end our repeat. So that ends our repeat. Let's recap it. Row number 7's repeat began with 2 single crochets, 1 double crochet, 3 single crochets, 1 double crochet, 3 single crochets, 1 double crochet, and we end with 1 single crochet. So you will continue to work that exact set of stitches all the way down your row, and then we'll meet up for row 8 whenever you're ready. Cheater method for this row, once we start our repeat again, since it ends with 1 single crochet and it starts with 2 single crochets, 1 and 2. As we continue to work, we are really just working 3 single crochets, 1 double crochet all the way down the row. So that is your cheater method. And we'll be back in just a moment for row 8. Row 8 begins now, and we are working in color B. Row 8's repeat begins with 1 single crochet, 1 double crochet, 3 single crochets, 1, 2, 3, 1 double crochet, 1 single crochet, 1 double crochet, 3 single crochets, 1, 2, 3, and we end the repeat with 1 double crochet. That ends our repeat. Let's recap it. Row number 8's repeat began with 1 single crochet, 1 double crochet, 3 single crochets, 1 double crochet, 1 single crochet, 1 double crochet, 3 single crochets, 1 double crochet ends that repeat. So continue to work that exact set of stitches, and we'll meet up for row 9 whenever you're ready. Row 9 begins now, and we are working in color A. Row 9's repeat begins with 1 double crochet, 3 single crochets, 1, 2, 3, 1 double crochet, 3 single crochets, 1, 2, 3, 1 double crochet, 3 single crochets will end that repeat. 1, 2, 3. So that ends the repeat. Let's recap it. Row number 9's repeat began with 1 double crochet, 3 single crochets, 1 double crochet, 3 single crochets, 1 double crochet. We end with 3 single crochets. So obviously, cheater method for this row is 1 double crochet, 3 single crochets, all the way down over and over. But for those of you who prefer the exact specific repeat, that's what you need to do all the way down your row. We'll meet up in just a moment for row number 10. Row 10 begins now, and we are working in color B. Row 10's repeat begins with 3 single crochets, 1, 2, and number 3. 1 double crochet, 5 single crochets, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1 double crochet, and we will end the repeat with 2 single crochets. 1 and 2. So that ends the repeat. Let's recap. Row number 10's repeat began with 3 single crochets, 1 double crochet, 5 single crochets, 1 double crochet, and we end with 2 single crochets. So you are going to work that exact set on down your row. And for those of you who prefer the cheater method, once you get set up and going, you're going to notice that as you end your pattern with the 2 single crochets and you start the pattern again, or the repeat, with the 3 single crochets, you're really just doing 5 single crochets, 1 double crochet over and over on down the row. Hopefully that's not confusing, but if it is, sorry, and just use the exact repeat. So we're going to move on now to row number 11. Meet up with me when you're ready. Row 11 begins now, and we are working in color A. Row 11's repeat begins with 3 double crochets, 1, 2, and 3. 3 single crochets, 1, 2, 3, 1 double crochet, 3 single crochets, 1, 2, 3, and we end the repeat with 2 double crochets. 1, and number 2. So now let's recap what we've done. Row 11's repeat began with 3 double crochets, 3 single crochets, 1 double crochet, 3 single crochets, and we end with 2 double crochets. So you are going to continue on down your row, repeating that exact set of stitches, and then meet up with me when you're ready for row number 12. Row 12 begins now, and we are working in color B. Row 12's repeat begins by working 5 single crochets, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1 double crochet, 1 single crochet, 1 double crochet, and we will work 4 single crochets to end our repeat. 1, 2, 3, and 4. So that ended our repeat. We're now going to recap it real quick. So row 12 began over here with 5 single crochets, 1 double crochet, 1 single crochet, 1 double crochet, and we end the repeat with 4 single crochets. So you are going to work that exact set and meet up with me when you're ready for row 13. Row 13 begins now, and we are working in color A. Row 13's repeat begins with 5 double crochets, 1, 2, 3, 4, and number 5. 3 single crochets, 1, 2, and number 3. And we'll end the repeat by working 4 double crochets. 1, 2, 3, and number 4. So let's recap what we've done. Row 13's repeat began with 5 double crochets, 3 single crochets, and we end with 4 double crochets. So you will continue to work this exact set of stitches on down your row, and then we'll meet up when you're ready for row number 14. Row 14 begins now, and we are working in color B. I do want to point out as we move on though, if you wanted to stop here at row 13 and use this as maybe an enclosed double border, or what some people call as an envelope border, or use this as a separator pattern in another project, you could work just 1 through 13 and stop here, and that would give you this kind of zigzaggy little design. Now we're going to move on to row 14 as the pattern is originally designed, and carry on working by starting our repeat with 5 single crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1 double crochet, 1 single crochet, 1 double crochet, and we end the repeat with 4 single crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, so let's recap our repeat. Row 14's repeat began with 5 single crochets, 1 double crochet, 1 single crochet, 1 double crochet, and we end with 4 single crochets. So you'll continue that exact set and meet up with me for row 15 whenever you're ready. Row 15 begins now, and we are working in color A. Row 15's repeat begins with 3 double crochets, 1, 2, 3, 3 single crochets, 1, 2, 3, 1 double crochet, 3 single crochets, 1, 2, 3, and we end the repeat with 2 double crochets. 1 and number 2. So that ends our repeat. Let's recap. Row number 15's repeat began with 3 double crochets, 3 single crochets, 1 double crochet, 3 single crochets, and we end with 2 double crochets. So continue to work that exact set and meet up with me for row 16 when you're ready. Row 16 begins now, and we are working in color B. Row 16's repeat begins with 3 single crochets, 1, 2, 3, 1 double crochet, 5 single crochets, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1 double crochet, 2 single crochets will end our repeat. 1, 2. So let's recap what we have done. Row number 16 repeat begins with 3 single crochets, 1 double crochet, 5 single crochets, 1 double crochet, and we end with 2 single crochets. So continue to work that exact set of stitches and meet up for row 17. Row 17 begins now, and we are working in color A. Row 17's repeat begins with 1 double crochet, 3 single crochets, 1, 2, 3, 1 double crochet, 3 single crochets, 1, 2, 3, 1 double crochet, and we end the repeat with 3 single crochets. 1, 2, 3. So that ends our repeat. Let's recap it. Row number 17's repeat began with 1 double crochet, 3 single crochets, 1 double crochet, 3 single crochets, 1 double crochet, and we end with 3 single crochets. So really all you're doing down your row, 1 double crochet, 3 single crochets over and over. But that's your exact set, so keep working on down your row. Meet up with me for row 18. Row 18 begins now, and we are working in color B. Row 18's repeat begins with 1 single crochet, 1 double crochet, 3 single crochets, 1, 2, 3, 1 double crochet, 1 single crochet, 1 double crochet, 3 single crochets, 1, 2, 3, 1 double crochet to end the repeat. So let's recap what we've done. Row 18's repeat began with 1 single crochet, 1 double crochet, 3 single crochets, 1 double crochet, 1 single crochet, 1 double crochet, 3 single crochets, and we end with 1 double crochet. So continue to work that set and meet up with me for row 19. Row 19 begins now, and we are working in color A. Row 19's repeat begins with 2 single crochets, 1, 2, 1 double crochet, 3 single crochets, 1, 2, 3, 1 double crochet, 3 single crochets, 1, 2, 3, 1 double crochet, and we end the repeat with 1 single crochet. So let's recap what we have done. Row number 19's repeat began with 2 single crochets, 1 double crochet, 3 single crochets, 1 double crochet, 3 single crochets, 1 double crochet, and we end with 1 single crochet. So you're going to continue working that set, and really what you're doing all the way down, 1 double crochet, 3 single crochets. So once we start this repeat again, you do your 3 single crochets here, 1 double crochet, and carry on either way. So we'll be back in just a moment. Row 20 begins now, and we are working in color B. Row 20's repeat begins with 3 single crochets, 1, 2, 3, 1 double crochet, 5 single crochets, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1 double crochet, and we end with 2 single crochets, 1 and 2. So let's recap what we have done. Row number 20's repeat began with 3 single crochets, 1 double crochet, 5 single crochets, 1 double crochet, and we end with 2 single crochets. So you'll keep working that exact set on down your row. Row 21 begins now, and we are working in color A. Row 21's repeat begins with 1 double crochet, 3 single crochets, 1, 2, 3, 5 double crochets, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 3 single crochets to end the repeat. 1, 2, 3. So let's recap what we've done. Row number 21's repeat began with 1 double crochet, 3 single crochets, 5 double crochets, and we end with 3 single crochets. So continue to work that set and meet up with me when you're ready for row 22. Row 22 begins now, and we're working in color B. Row 22's repeat begins with 1 single crochet, 1 double crochet, 9 single crochets, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 1 double crochet, and that ends the repeat. So let's recap it. Row 22's repeat began with 1 single crochet, 1 double crochet, 9 single crochets, 1 double crochet. So you are going to continue to work that exact set on down your row, and then we will meet up to talk about how you continue on for a larger project, or just how to end this project or this section in a project. We'll be back one more time. After completing row 22, you can now rewind back in the same video and repeat this design to grow a bigger project. And you would go back to row number 3 and work rows 3 through 22 over and over as many times as you would like. When you are finished, or if you were just going to use one repeat of this design in a project, when you're ending, you will go back to row 3 and work row 3 as your final row, so that the end of the project matches here with the beginning and how we began the design. So that'll even things up at the end. So you'll work row 3 as your final row. As always, I truly appreciate your time and for watching. Please feel free to leave me a comment down below. It always helps me out. Give the video a thumbs up if you did enjoy it, and bye for now.